You have no body. Not in the way a ghost has no body and just floats around, is translucent. No. You have no body the way a smell has no body, the way a hum of a fluorescent light has no body. You exist in the carpet and the walls and the particular quality of light that fluorescent tubes produce at 3 a.m. And you have been doing this since before the concept of being terrified was invented. You're going to meet some people today who are genuinely about to make you feel the worst you've ever felt. This is the Backrooms from the inside. You are Captain Clark, but let's go back a bit. Let's actually understand what that means. You are not a monster. Monsters are the things that hide under beds. No. You are the physical manifestation of a man's complete psychological collapse. Every single year that Clark spent in that furniture store, every excuse that he made, every person he hurt, and every person he never apologized to. Every morning he looked in the mirror and decided someone else was the problem. You are all of that. You are compressed, distorted, and scaled up to something that makes async researchers have cardiac events. You bleed now. You figured that out recently. You've decided that it adds to the mystique. Every other still life in the Backrooms sits at a table and just doesn't move. They're passive, they're copies, they're the Backrooms doing its best with limited information. But you hunt, you scream, you move through the complex like something that was always supposed to be there. Because you were. Clark lived directly above the entrance for years. The Backrooms had more time to copy him than anything else. That's why when you walk into the dinner table room and the red-haired woman, who is Clark's ex-wife, immediately runs to the corner and hides in the shadows, you don't even register it as fear. You register it as, oh, that's correct. When you first see Clark in the Backrooms, you don't kill him at first, you let him live there. Because you have been waiting for this. You've been waiting to not kill him, but to absorb him. He belongs to you in a way that he will never understand, and he bows to you. He doesn't even realize what he's doing. Something inside of him recognizes you, but like not as a threat, kind of as him looking in the mirror. You are everything that he buried. He is everything that you came from. And the gap between both of you guys is closing the longer that he stays there. And you are waiting for one very specific thing, for him to finally see himself. And then Mary comes in. Mary, who has this particular energy of someone who has read every single book about trauma and narcissism ever published, is now walking through a death dimension, using them as a field guide. Mary, who has spent her entire career trying to make people see themselves clearly, and who has apparently decided that people includes the giant peg-legged manifestation of a furniture store owner's ego, and she makes Clark see it. Not with a speech, not with some dramatic moment, but she holds up what he is, and she doesn't let him look away from it. And the second Clark stops running from himself, you eat him. Now obviously that part goes exactly as you planned it. Now as you're chasing her through the Backrooms version of Clark's furniture store, she hits you with a piece of furniture and she breaks your leg, so you fall over and start crawling at her. Then when some gas goes off and she goes down too, you think it's finally over. You think that you have won. But then she takes out this rock that she's had with her entire life and starts hitting you on the side of the head with it. This is when you figure out you can bleed. This is when you figure out you could scream. This is when you figure out that you can be hurt. Nobody has ever fought back from you before. Clark spent his whole life trampling people who didn't, and then she hits you again. You are confused and you are hurt for the first time ever, and you cannot understand why this isn't working. You get dragged out of the Backrooms in an async containment unit. You are, by any objective measure, the most powerful entity in this dimension. You made a researcher have a cardiac event. You absorbed the physical and psychological matter of a grown man. You are the thing the Backrooms created when it had 30 years in a furniture store and an enormous amount of unprocessed emotion to work with. And you are crying. Why are you crying? Clark always cried when he lost, and he didn't understand why either. You have never been more yourself. You are the Bacterium. Specifically, you are the colonial organism living in the complex. You are also in the walls. You are also in the ventilation system. You are, and this is the part that you find genuinely impressive about yourself, the smell. You are the stink of old moist carpet. You are the reason the original 4chan post, the founding document of the entire Backrooms mythos, mentioned you specifically. The stink of old moist carpet. That's you. You are in the source material. You were in the Backrooms before Async originally opened the door in 1989. You were here when it was empty rooms and fluorescent lights and nothing to copy yet. You grew in the carpet while you waited. Every wanderer who has ever entered the complex has breathed you in. You are in their lungs. You are in their clothes. When they escape, they take you with them. You are the only Backrooms entity that has ever successfully left the Backrooms. You are currently present in 47 countries, and nobody knows this. There is a page about you in the official Backrooms wiki. You are in the atmosphere of 47 countries. You are the founding document. You are the only entity to have escaped the dimension. You are, by any reasonable definition of the word, winning. And the wiki has categorized you alongside wet floors and low ceiling. Captain Clark has a whole movie about him. The still life at the dinner table has a name in the credits. A cardboard cutout of a caveman has more lore than you. The caveman even has a sticker pack. You return to the carpet. You grow. You spread through the ventilation in the walls in the 47 countries and the lungs of everyone who has ever walked through this level. You are the most successful organism in the Backrooms by every available metric. You hunt people that no-clip into the Backrooms, and you wear them, and you infect them. You are a still life. You know what that means. You've always known what that means. The way you know the lights are always on and the carpet is always slightly damp. You are a copy. The Backrooms saw something once, maybe a person based on the shape of you, and it remembered everything that it could, and then it made you. You are sitting in a chair. You cannot leave the chair. You are furniture. This is not a limitation you are given. It's more of a fact about what you are. You are the Backrooms. You are the Backrooms' approximation of a person in a specific place. And the specific place includes you in that chair. So here you are, in the chair, in the room with the dinner table, with the yellow wallpaper and the fluorescent lights, and the particular smell that you know is technically you, or at least something related to you. You are trying your best to be accurate. The red-haired woman is here too, and she's doing her best. The bearded man with 6 eyes doesn't say much, and you respect that. Archibald Leland Sutter is in his wheelchair with his lamp and seems content. None of you move much. This is correct behavior for still lifes like yourself. The Backrooms gave you just enough to exist and not quite enough to be comfortable. Your hands have way too many joints, and you've noticed this. Your face is very wrong, and you've noticed this as well. You are trying your hardest with the resources you were given. And then in comes Clark. The real Clark. I mean, the original one. Just like the people on the outside, people that you've copied. You can feel it when he enters the room, and the Backrooms can feel it too. The wallpaper feels it, even the carpet. He looks at the bearded man and doesn't recognize what he's looking at. He looks at Archibald and doesn't recognize what he's looking at. He looks at the red-haired woman and something crosses his face that he immediately buries. Then he looks at you, and you look back. You are doing your best. You watch Captain Clark talk to Clark. You watch Clark bow down to Captain Clark, but you just don't understand why. You watch Mary try to make Clark see himself. You watch Clark finally see himself. You watch Captain Clark eat Clark, which is the kind of thing that raises questions. You watch Mary hit Captain Clark with her rock. You watch Captain Clark cry, scream, and bleed. You watch Async arrive in hazmat suits. You watch them drag Captain Clark out in a containment unit, still crying. You watch Mary get taken somewhere separate. The room is quiet now. The fluorescent lights hum. The carpet is still damp. The bearded man is still sitting at the table. Archibald still has his lamp on, and you are still in your chair. Nothing attacked you. Nothing ate you. Nothing put you in a containment unit. You sat in your chair and you did your best approximation of existing, and you watched the most powerful entity in the Backrooms cry itself into a box. You are the most emotionally stable person in this story. You didn't absorb anyone's ego. You didn't get hit with a rock or dragged out in a containment unit. You just sat here with your slightly wrong face and your too many jointed hands and your chair that you can't leave. And you think, in whatever way you think, in whatever approximation of thought the Backrooms assembled for you, that maybe this is fine. Maybe this chair is fine. Maybe the way I'm living is fine. The Backrooms copied you. It didn't copy you perfectly. I mean, it never does. But you are here. You are present. You are, in your own way, real. And nobody put you in a box today. That feels like a win. The Backrooms is a machine that copies things. It copies buildings. It copies the carpet. It copies people badly, incompletely, with too many hands and slightly wrong faces. It copies the worst parts of the people who get too close. It compresses them. It scales them up, and it lets those loose. And what it created was this. An ego that cried when someone finally pushed back. An organism so successful successful, it escaped the dimension entirely. A copy of a person sitting quietly in a chair watching everything collapse around them, and then deciding the chair was fine. The Backrooms didn't create monsters. It created the parts of people that people refused to look at, and then it gave them a home and let them sort it out.